get to get the best of both worlds. So how is everyone feeling about today? Are you excited, nervous? I'm gonna drop that in the chat. Again, Benicia, I can't see the chat. So if people are dropping stuff, please let me know.
That's right. You got it, my dear.
I personally am excited because I love AI agents. I love efficiency. So looking forward to sharing some of the tools we have. So a little bit about the agenda today. As I mentioned, the first part, we are going to go through governance and why it's important. And we're going to build your first AI team. So with a lot of cuts in healthcare, um, we we have limited resources. So we're going to build your first AI team that costs you $0 because you're going to use ChatGPT, which is free, maybe just data and Wi-Fi. But and then that team needs to be trained. So Benicia is going to go through her care framework, which trains your agents. So if you hire a new team member, you want to make sure they know what they're doing. So that is what Benicia's framework is going to teach you today. So giving it all the requirements, making sure it knows what its job is, because if you do not train your team member well, you end up with content that is not aligned or is not helpful to the patient. Then today we're going to leave with a global healthcare brief. So an agent that every morning will deliver for you your news without having to prompt it. It will create your email. It will automate as much as it can and take 13 hours out of your day every week. Not 13 hours of you 13 hours every week. Any questions? Is there any comments in the chat?
No, nothing yet. Mm-mm. Beth is wicked excited to be here.
Yes. Okay, Beth. Let's go. Let's go. So, why governance matters? Does anyone? If anyone wants to put in the chat why governance is important, not just in healthcare, but anyone want to put a one in the chat if they think governance is important?
Don't see anything yet.
So nobody thinks governance is important.
So Izzy thinks it's important.
Right. Very true. Very true. So governance is very important in healthcare because everything you do in healthcare has a consequence. That's why healthcare is very regulated because it touches very vulnerable people. Your patients are vulnerable, and any error, unlike in other industries, errors in healthcare have consequences. They'll impact your patients. They'll also impact your staff. So, for example, if you build a system that's constantly alerting team members or your agents performing actions that your team members are not aware of, it creates stress on them. And that carries over also to their patients. Or if it creates an alert that's not accurate, that could potentially harm the patient. So before I build anything, before we implement anything, we always need to start with governance because I've seen the consequences of doing when governance comes second, I've seen the consequences. So today, before we build our agent, we're going to take a few minutes to just go through governance. We're going to go through a framework that I run every time I'm implementing any tool to make sure that I know that it's not going to cause any harm downstream. Because we all know capability without control is just going to create risk for us. So these are the 6 pillars I apply every time before I implement any agent, any AI tool, any EHR system. These 6 pillars are your governance framework. Each pillar is one question your agent must answer before it touches a patient or it makes any decision. The S in the secure framework stands for system alignment. We want to ensure that your system fits your clinical workflow and it's not fighting it. So does it fit into the system? Also, does it fit into the infrastructure? If you're trying to implement AI on an infrastructure that cannot support it, it has downstream impacts. So before you implement, make sure you have system alignment. The E is for ethics and equity. We need to ask, who will this help or who will this harm? Because we know AI is biased. And before you implement a tool, you need to put in those guardrails and ensure that it's going to be equitable. The C is for compliance and clarity. Can you defend the decision your AI tool or AI agent just made? The U is for user integration. Have the people using the system shaped how it works? Are you solving for a problem that they need, or are you just implementing a tool to implement a tool? The R is for resilience and risk. What is the plan when it fails? We all know, if any of you have been in the industry long enough, you know at some point the system's going to fail. So, do you have a backup plan? What is your downstream plan if this agent makes a mistake or execute the wrong prompt? So, before you implement, make sure you have that mapped out and aligned. The E is for explainability. Can your clinicians explain why AI said what it said or did what it did? So every time before you implement, ensure you are following some kind of governance framework or tool. Because at the end of the day, in healthcare, we know one bad decision leads to harm at the end user or could harm a patient. So these 6 questions are the ones I always use. So every time before you build your agent, run it through this framework. This is a checklist I use with all my clients. It's the basis of my AI literacy course that the state of Massachusetts approved for their workforce funding. Why? Because it works. Any questions so far?
No questions so far.
And
It was,
all right. So, as I said, we have limited resources and we need a team, right? You need a team behind you. You can have all the frameworks, but if you do not have the resources, you'll not be able to execute it. So, today we're going to build your first AI team, each one answering a question that you cannot answer alone. We'll build your chief ethics officer, your patient safety lead, your health equity officer, your compliance lead, and your frontline voice, all ready to support you. Who's ready in the chat? If you put a 1 in the chat, I'll give you the prompt to start building your team. Any ones in the chat or
yeah,
should
Beth was the first one up.
right, Beth?
He's
Let's go.
ready.
Let's go.
He
But
said
okay,
he's ready
we
too.
don't need to build it. We can end this call. So, all right. So if you're all ready, I'm going to share with you a prompt that I use to build my team. So you don't want to work alone. So you have to have your team ready to support you in implementing your AI. You need your governance team ready to answer any questions. And again, you have a limited budget. So, and even if you have a unlimited budget, you want to save time. So as soon as you build your team, you'll have them ready to support you. So I'm going to share a prompt with you. If you could all go, either you can either use ChatGPT or Claude. Benicia, you want to drop the prompt, please?
Okay.
Prompt in the chat. So we're going to use ChatGPT. We're also going to use Gemini. We want to see which of the tools will do a better job. So if you go to chatgpt.com, and you're going to upload your picture because you're the chief, right? You're the CEO here, you're the governance officer, you're ready to build your team. So we're going to ask ChatGPT, acting as a healthcare AI agent, AI image generator. I'm going to upload my photo. So I've uploaded my photo, generate a team portrait that places me in the center, surrounded by my 5 AI governance and ethics team. So we're going to have our chief ethics officer, who's wise, calm. We want him holding a tablet with policy notes because we need those notes, right? Those ethics officers. And then we'll have our patient safety lead. And you can put whatever you want. They can be in scrubs, they can be in a suit. So feel free to adjust the prompt, but this is the prompt we're using. We'll have our ethics and equity officer who's going to represent diversity, and they're holding whatever icon. And then your frontline voice, that will be your nurse, your community health worker. And we'll go ahead and run the prompt. Nisha, you drop the prompt.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Right? So we're going to ask Gemini to do the same things. As an AI consultant, we're always trying to use different tools because every model is trained in a different way. So it's good to see which one will give you the best output. And goes the same with when you're building an agent. Whenever you build an AI agent, use a tool that really knows you, but also try other tools. So you can use Claude, you can use ChatGPT, you can use Manus. So I always use different tools to see the one that will give me the best output. Okay, we'll see. Who thinks Claude will do a better job versus ChatGPT? Put a C for Claude or G for Gemini. C. Let's go. Who's winning, Venetia? Thinks,
They're working. They're studio students. They're out at work. Oh, Beth thinks Gemini will come out on top.
right. I'm thinking ChatGPT because ChatGPT just
I mean,
launched.
Ujer, I'm sorry, thinks Gemini, and Beth thinks it's chatty. Valerie thinks it's chatty. Okay, let's get this competition out. Let's keep this competition rolling.
I'm seeing ChatGPT because ChatGPT, we'll see. Please don't disappoint me, ChatGPT. So drum roll. Let's go. Let's see what it does. No, it did not. Oh my God, ChatGPT loses. Ah, why did it do this to me, chat? Oh, I didn't logged in. That's why. Okay, I see you. All right. Well, I'm logging in. Let's see what Gemini did.
And if anybody finishes theirs, you can drop it in the chat so we can see what your team looks like.
Oops. I'm 80 years old. Smart 80-year-old. Let's see, chatty. Okay. What are we doing, chat? Continue. Okay. Paste it in, create image. So if your image has been created, drop it in the chat. I want to see what people are coming up with. How your officers are
They
looking.
haven't yet. They haven't created theirs. Finished with it yet.
All right, let's see. I really have faith in ChatGPT, but we'll see. So good job, Gemini. Not bad. Captured me well. My team's ready. We're ready to go execute. Okay, chatty. Beth, is yours done yet?
No, I haven't seen any finished product yet. We have Sterling just joined us. Welcome, Sterling.
Welcome.
Pleasure to have you here. And just to get you caught up, we dropped. I'm going to drop that prompt again for you. Jennifer is running the AI governance team, so I'm going to drop that prompt again for you so you can join in with the fun. Okay. And you can either put your prompt in ChatGPT, whatever tool of your choice.
Told you chat was gonna win. Look at that. ChatGPT don't play. It even gives them their titles, their roles, what they're doing, right? This is amazing. So this is something you can use to build your team. You can give your team members a name. So what I do when I build my team, I give them all names. So instead of just saying AI governance lead, I make sure I name them. So you can also adjust the prompt and come in here and just tell ChatGPT, my ethics officer's name, Susan. So, and then it will name it. And then you can put this up. So when your patients walk in or you're in your office, people know exactly who's who and their role and what they do. So as you see, your governance lead is setting this a strategy and builds trust and aligns AI with innovation, right? Who had put ChatGPT? And I'm biased. So again, we say AI is biased. I'm biased for ChatGPT right now because they just dropped this new image tool and it's doing a great job.
Yes, Beth was one that voted for chat. Quite a few voted for chat. So chat
Yes,
for the win. Let's
yes,
go.
chat. Awesome. So I'll go back to my presentation. So now that you have your team, guess what we have to do? We've got to teach the team what they need to do, right? You would never hire a team member and just tell them, welcome, you're now my chief ethics officer. Let's go to work. So I'm going to hand it over to Benicia, who's going to walk us through how to train our team.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I appreciate that. And like Jennifer said, that was a perfect segue. You never just hire someone and just say, here's what you do. Go do it. Throw them off in the deep end and say, because guess what? It's not even an option if they're gonna sink or swim. They're definitely gonna sink because what you just did is tied lead around their feet. So that's all weight. So what I'm gonna do today is walk you through the KIO framework. And the KIO framework, ladies and gentlemen, is not a trick. This is a discipline. Okay. And the C stands for context. And the KIO framework, I'm going to tell you, the KIO framework is actually applicable in any situation at any given time, right? Most people stop at the C because the C stands for context. And what we want to do when we're doing anything that we're doing is to give it context because you don't want things to be vague. You have to make sure you give it the right context, the right layout, and everything that you need. Okay. So most people just stop at the C. No, we can't do that. We have to go ahead. Then you then ask. And that is very important for you to do. You've got to ask it what to do. And the R stands for refinement, refine. And after you ask it, you want to make sure you go ahead and refine. And now in the refinement, this is where value lives. This is exactly where the value lives. And then the E stands for execution. And this makes leadership so very different. Now, let's go ahead and break down each step for you. Okay. Specificity is what unlocks intelligence. If anybody agrees with that, put a one in the chat for me. If you don't, let me know why. I'll be interested to have a conversation with you afterwards. Okay.
Yeah.
And vague context. I was about to say in most times, but not at all most times. Every single time will give you a generic output. When you're dealing with AI, in every single situation, in every single scenario, AI needs to have a role. It needs to have a setting, it needs to have constraints, and it needs to know what or which audience it is speaking with. Okay. Read the strong example that you always want to give it something to go off. Once the AI knows who you are, you must then tell it exactly what to do. This becomes the ask. Ambiguity equals mediocre or lackluster output. Always be specific with the task, the output, and the format, or the format and the output. Because what we get with this is weak versus strong. And when you do the ask, you will get a more powerful outcome of what you're seeking. And because this provides clarity, and it is your responsibility to provide clarity, not the AI. Most people put all that responsibility and onus on the AI. And then when they don't get a favorable result, they be like, oh, this tool does not work, right? But that's not how it goes. We have to always provide specific clarification to the AI tools that we are working with. But and then you want to also, when you when you give your context, you make the ask, you want to also make sure that the first iteration you get is not the one you walk away with. Okay. The first answer might look good to you, but then always ask yourself, is there more? Is there better? And that's when we pull in the refinement. This is where you collaborate with the AI and you ask it again. Always make sure that you get several iterations. Okay. Because especially for me, I'm a person that like options. Because I always like to say, why choose? If I can choose, I'd like to have it all. Okay. So when you're talking to your AI tools, always give pushbacks, because you'll find that sometimes the first one you say, oh, I like this, but then you go on ahead and say, go deeper. This is good. You want to also give it a structured sentence to say, okay, what you've given me is good, but I'd like for you to go deeper. Dig a little bit deeper and see what it comes out with. And even with that second iteration, you want to even tell it further again. Okay, we're warming up. This is even better, but I'd like for you to go deeper and you can do it as many times as you'd like, because you want to make sure until you actually see exactly like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Right? So you must push back on your AI tool. Short refinements are powerful. Okay. Refine at least, and I would suggest that you do that refinement, or we call it the go deeper method, at least 3 times. And then you can compare and contrast the results you get. Now you wanna do two part. The most people skip is the execution phase of the whole situation. This is goes without saying. Insight without deployment is just entertainment. And in healthcare, in nothing about this entertaining. This is serious stuff we're dealing with, because people's lives are at stake, people's health are at stake, and potential lawsuits needs to be avoided, because one mistake can be catastrophic and nobody wants to deal with that. So the output must become real artifacts, right? And then we also have SOPs, briefs, messages, workflows. I mean, the list is endless, but it doesn't change Monday morning if it isn't finished, right? So with all this that I've just said, let's go on ahead and practice for real. I'm gonna Jennifer, I'll ask you to actually I can probably do that.
Oh,
I
yeah, you
have a
want
prompt. I'm sorry.
drop the prompt because I can't do it.
Yep. That's fine. I have it. I have it at hand right here. I'll actually go and drop a care prompt in the chat for you guys. And much like the first prompt we did, the secure prompt, we are going to do the same thing with this one and have you see what the results will look like. You want to give it the context, the app, the refinement. Okay, here we go. Coming up in just a second.
And you can also take a picture of this. So if you didn't
Right,
notice,
those
yeah.
that is not able. Okay, here goes the prompt. Well, the 4 pillars of the care framework. Here we go. Perfect. That's the 4 pillars of the care framework, and you want to put that into your tool and run it. And like you said, you don't want to just take the first iteration that you get. employ the 4 pillar rules, and you will see the difference within the results, that the output or the execution as a part of the care framework. And this care framework is this isn't about just iteration. It's about the iteration of it. It's not about perfection. Why? Because nothing in life is actually perfect. You improve upon and you make progress. Okay. So you want to fill in those blanks
Oh, yeah.
with your specific role that you have, or if you don't want to be specific, you can just make up a title. Say, I am the, for example, you would say, I am the uh,
Ethics officer.
assistant clinical director of Mayfair Hospital. Give me five, like I said, write me five bullet briefings on the latest WHO guidance affecting my work. Each bullet point, and you want to go ahead and so forth, and follow the instruction and what it says. And then after that, you want to refine, follow up after your first response. Said, make this 30% more shorter, 25%, or if it is something that you need more context on, say, hey, I would like for you to elaborate on this iteration for me, in whatever the situation is, and so on and so forth. Is everybody understanding so far? And for the final portion, let me take a look. Let me take a look at the chat. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. And I can see that you're working, because there's no response in the chat just yet. And you will just, and for the last portion of the care framework is the execute. You format the final version, and you want to send it to your I don't know, your team's group, and or your whatever platform that you guys use in your company for correspondence between team members and stuff, right? You can go ahead and take and do all that. But this is a very good framework, and it is applicable across industry, across company, across anything. It is applicable to anything that you use, right? The output becomes the real artifact in everything that we are working on today. And I've already dropped you the prompt in the chat. And when you're finished with your results, you can also put your actions in the chat so that we can take a look and see the difference, because we'd like to compare and contrast, and tell us how many iterations you've done, so that we can see what the differences are, and that you yourself can see the difference in when you employ the care framework the right way, and the difference with the result that you get in your output
Hi,
and your
Benicia.
outcomes.
I have a quick question. So the prompt you have sent, are we supposed to use it on the picture we had generated from Jennifer's session?
They work in tandem, because Jennifer gave you the secure framework, which is the first part of it, the governance part of it, and this is the care framework. This teaches you how to prompt and make your work better. So yes, they
Yes.
do work hand in hand. Everything is a cohesive piece, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it gives you the total of everything. So yes.
Yeah. So Benicia, I ran the prompt for myself. I said, I'm from Kenya, so I put my Kenyan team here. And like, it's giving me my brief. It gave me my first iteration, and I used 2 tools. Again, I always encourage people to use 2 tools. Yeah. So that was my Chat GPT version. You can tell it to dig deeper, so that it will like, or even tell it like, put guardrails. So keep pushing until you get, the more you
Mhm.
ask it, the better the output will be. So
And you want to take note of the first iteration you've gotten, and the second iteration, and look at the vast difference between both of them. Sometimes it is it but you don't even think that it will make a big difference, but it does. And sometimes it can go revert back to the first one, but you always want to make sure you have choices and you always select the best one for your particular situation at the time. Maybe you're writing to your manager, maybe you're writing correspondence to your staff, maybe you are the manager and you're writing to your staff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you
So,
can
but
always.
yeah,
Somebody say something.
no, it was me. So I said I ran both of them, and I think I find the ChatGPT one had more context, but it did not follow my rules because I told it no emojis. I think it said no emojis, and it's full of emojis. So ChatGPT's disappointed me there. So,
No, no, no. That's important. And then
yeah,
this is where the refinement comes in. Then you then go back and said, the instructions I gave earlier was not followed. Please remove all emojis
yes,
from this brief and make it even better.
exactly.
So that's what that is how important the training is, because you want to talk to your tools. If you whatever you get from it, if it is not what you were looking for, then you want to go back and say, this is not what was asked, what was requested. Fix it.
So
Make it better.
exactly. Now that hopefully people are running the prompt and seeing their report. So now the big piece of it now is now to automate it, right, Benicia? You can go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Because and just the last piece, and with closing before I hand it right back,
Yeah.
before I give Jennifer, pass the baton right back to Jennifer. The difference between the version 1 and the final version you get is why leaders get value from AI and others don't, because they just go ahead and you put generic prompts in, so you get generic results. Okay, so you want to make sure you train your AI properly and give it, always have guidance for it and guardrails so that it can give you the exact results that you're looking for. And with that quick real demo, I will hand it right back over to you, Jennifer, so that you can uh walk this baby home for us, please.
All right. Was that helpful for everyone? Like, put a one in the chat if this was helpful, if you're able to see why it's important to use the CARE framework. Hopefully people are responding.
Yep, there, yep. I say EK. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. All right. Okay, Beth has dropped her team. Ooh, Beth, I like your team. Let's go. Yes.
Right. Very good. So now that your team knows what it's doing, right? You've trained it, they know exactly what they're doing. We're going to automate it. So this is where we're going to build our first agent, right? So the difference between like regular AI like ChatGPT is you give it a set of instructions and it executes, it gives you the answer. An agent, however, is on a mission. You give it the prompt using the CARE framework, and then it takes all that information without any other context and it executes. It has a goal, it has a plan, it'll give you an output. So you give it a mission, it completes it every day without you, right? So for example, if you're using like ChatGPT, you ask it a question and that's it. The conversation ends there. However, with an agent, you can ask it to continue to work for you. So giving you back time in your day. So today we're going to move you from prompting to being people who are building agents that are giving them completing the missions for them and giving them time back in their day.
One quick second, Jen,
But
to put some context to what she just said. So between a bot and an agent, ChatGPT will always come back asking you more questions, and then you keep answering those questions. But when you build an agent, you give it instructions and you give it specific tasks to complete, and it goes ahead and completes those tasks. So the big vast difference between both of them.
and there's so many use cases for agents, right? You can build an agent that actually reads your email, right? We're not going to cover that today, but so today, just in because we don't have a lot of time, we're going to build a global health brief agent, which every morning will deliver for you the World Health Organization or any regional surveillance information. and it will give you a brief that will be delivered in your email every day, tailored for your country. Again, this prompt is for today. You can build an agent for whatever use case uh, you need it for. If you need to write a white paper, right, you have to do research. Instead of sitting there researching several articles, the agent can go do the research, write the white paper for you, publish it for you, even on LinkedIn. But for today, because we don't have a lot of time, we're just going to build this one agent. So we're going to build our global healthcare brief agent. Because we want to know what's going on in the world, because a lot is going on right now, right? So this is the prompt. Benicia is going to drop it in the chat for you.
Yes, we will.
And again, this agent has a mission. So you're going to act as a global health AI agent, deliver me a daily 5-bullet brief every morning at 7 a.m. in my time zone, because we have people from different time zones on this call. My role, so put your role. Who are you? Because again, like as Benicia said, if you do not give it a context or a role, it's just gonna AI is so good at guessing and guessing so well. So, and it's made to make you happy. So it will give you any output. So you want to make sure it's giving you the right output, the right region, the right focus. So this is your job every morning. And then once you give me that brief, I want you to tell me your sources. I need to know where did you get this information? And you can even push it further and say, after you send the email, send it to my entire team, right? So saving you so much time. So just for today, we're going to use this. And Benicia dropped it in the chat. Gonna
Yes,
run.
they have a prompt.
So I'm going to run the prompt as well. And what are the use cases? If you want to put it in the chat, what use cases would you need an agent for? What are those things that you spend hours and hours on, those repetitive tasks? For me, it's because I'm in informatics. I want to make sure I know what's going on in the world of informatics. And I'm also an AI consultant. So I have a brief that comes every morning at 7 a.m. on the top 5 things that are happening in healthcare AI, right? And after it sends me that, I ask it to create for me my LinkedIn post and send out my Instagram post, my Twitter, so it does that all for me while I sleep, right? While I'm sleeping, my agent's working for me. So that's what we want. So that's what an agent does. It buys you back your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Agree.
And yeah.
That's so important. As I said, she's finding the best strategy for global health. That is also a good one, and this is applicable to whatever niche or profession that you're in. You just put your profession in and say, send me information, and you pick your time, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever time you want to pick. You put that in there, and whatever industry or niche you're in, you put that. I am a hairstylist. Give me the latest news briefings on hairstyles and things that you can use to get your hair much thicker. Whatever it is.
I'm doing mine for clean water, right? I'm always want to make sure access to clean water, any guidance for the last 24 hours, and you give it all the prompts. And I wanted to cite sources because we don't want it to guess. I need you to tell me where you found the information. So I'm going to go ahead and run the prompt. And
And this is where
go ahead, Benicia.
this is where the human side of AI comes in. You want to always check your work, ask it for sources that it cites, and you go ahead and verify to make sure that the information that you're outputting, because we also need to remember that whatever output is out there, AI is not responsible for it. We are. So this is where the human side of AI comes in. You want to always fact check your work, especially when it comes down to healthcare.
And as you can see, it will run this and then I can tell it. So I'm not sure if any of you are aware that if you click the little plus sign here, this is the free version. If you're on the paid version of ChatGPT, there's an agent built in. So you can use the agent that's built in. See what Gemini is going to tell me. Look at Gemini. I don't need to be paying. Gemini is going to send it to me for free. Thank you, Gemini. That's what equity looks like. So it's going to send me my brief every morning at 7 a.m. For ChatGPT, I think you have to be on the paid version for it to send it to you.
I think so.
Yeah,
before you can set up a task and
yeah.
ChatGPT.
You can send me a Slack message. Okay, that's fine. I'll take Slack. So it's gonna send me a Slack message, or you can tell it a Teams message. But is this helpful for anyone? Is this something you can find useful every day? You get a brief and you can push it further. Tell it, email it to me, email it to my team. So,
And we know one of the big ones, an agent that is very good for agents right now, and that we're creating that the people have thousands and thousands. I've seen one where she had 35,000 emails. An agent is perfect to clean up your emails and organize and give you a schedule for your day so that you're not all over the place, especially when you're busy.
okay, just give everyone a minute to run their prompts. And again, there's so many use cases, and this will cover like just think of anything, like write a list of things that you have to do weekly or need if there's any monthly reports you have to run, right? You can build an agent that runs that report for you, creates a summary and emails it to everyone. Give it a specific time, give it the context. So this saves a lot of time in your day.
All you got to do, set up the agents, review review the end result, and execute. How easy is that? Can anybody use such ease in their life today? In today's world, everything is running, ripping and running crazy. I know I can.
Yeah. So again, all of you will get all these prompts. We're going to give you a prompt pack at the end. After you've done the one thing you want to make sure is you know what your agent is doing. So you need to pressure test this, right? So using the secure framework again, you want to make sure that you're spending at least 90 seconds asking yourself, does this fit your real workflow every morning? Is this even saving you time, right? And what population is it helping? So who is it for? And can you defend it to a ministry? Because you do not want to send information that's inaccurate. So you want to make sure whatever you're sending out is accurate. So always pressure test it. And will it help the people? Is it what they need? Is it the right brief? And can your team explain it? Because once you set your agent, you just sit back, you can get that extra hour of sleep, or you can spend time with your family because your agent is running and sending all this information out. So you're spending less time doing the repetitive tasks. You have the agent doing it, but always, always pressure test it. So what would you do with 13 more hours in your week, right? So think about it. Maybe if you work in population health, you have more time to go out there and help your community, right? Or come up with new programming that will enhance or improve their quality of life. So that's what an agent does. It helps you reclaim time back in your day. And who in this call would not use an extra 10 or 15? I could use an extra 24 hours in my day, actually. So that's why I have several agents running. They run you know, for work. I have it running some of my project stuff because I'm also in project management. It does my social media for me. It reads my emails. It summarizes my day. So in the morning when I log in, I have an agent that gives me a brief of all the emails that came in, what is a priority, and what's on my calendar. And also, I have guardrails in where it doesn't respond, but I do let it respond. So it'll send me an email and say, these are the priority emails. This is the response I'm about to send. Do you agree? If I say yes, then it executes. So I have guardrails on mine because at the end of the day, it's your reputation. So you can't go back and say the AI did it. You have to put those guardrails in. Right. So that is the end. Anyone have any questions? I wanted to leave some time for questions. If you scan this QR code, you'll get all the prompts. We have a prompt pack for you.
So Eze was just asking, not Eze, Nahimana, and please forgive me if I've butchered your name. She said, so you're basically building tools using the large language models. agents that can automate the steps beyond just chat. And I told her, absolutely. Yep, that is exactly what it is. It
Yeah,
automates your task for you.
it executes. It does. It will send like the model is sending out emails for you. You can use there's different agents. So for today, we just covered the like
The
the
basics. Hmm.
yeah, the easiest one, but you can use Claude Code, you can use Codex, and we teach this because Benicia and I, AI consultants, we teach how to build agents. So using Claude Code, using Codex, using N8N. So for today, this is our free gift for you. You have a couple of prompts that you can use every day that will save you 13 hours.
You know, and we just came into this because most times when you do a workshop, most people don't have knowledge or just have basic knowledge. So we wanted to keep it pretty simple. So it was easily digestible for everyone. So you know, if you want to go deeper, that'll be for the more complex task and codes, that will be another situation for another time. But we wanted to make sure that everybody got a takeaway from today's meeting. She said the code is not working. What code?
This
Zach?
code? Okay, let me scan it.
Oh, the QR code. This was stress tested several
I
times. How
know
is
that
it not
the
working?
AI is failing us.
This was stress tested multiple times because we need to practice what we preach about pressure testing stuff. It's all right. We'll get that sorted out real quick in a moment.
And it's
Thank you, Beth. Jennifer Beth says, Jennifer and Venetia are the best. I have learned so much from them. Thank you, Beth. We appreciate that.
all right. I'm gonna drop.
That is our aim for us consultants to go out and teach and make sure people understand and can apply, not just understand. Make these knowledge applicable, and not just to business and not just to organizations, but in your personal daily lives as well. I know this call we're talking about healthcare, but it's also applicable in your personal lives too, to make everything simpler for you. Thank you, Eze, Jennifer. EK. Oh, I'll just say E because please,
Isn't
I
it?
don't
Yeah,
want
it's
to butcher your
okay.
name.
It's okay. Isn't it okay? It's fine. And this was so good. Thank you so much, Venetia and Jennifer. I built my agent, I built the staff, using the prompt you sent over. And I'm very excited about, all I've learned today. So thank you. I'm sure everyone tried on their end. Well, funny, we can't send our pictures on the chat. I don't know. We can't upload pictures on the chat.
That's okay. Just make sure you use them and improve upon them. Jennifer, Valerie said thank you so much. Because
Right.
this is all for you. You got those prompts. Go ahead, put them in your tools, use them, and you can also personalize those prompts as well. You don't have to take them as is. Personalize them to your um own situation for your business, your office, or your personal life. It works in either way. All you
Benicia,
gotta do is just edit the prompts a little bit, tweak the prompts a little bit, and make them your own.
Benicia, do you wanna put in the chat? I just sent you the. I don't know if I'm able to put it in the chat. I sent you
Hold
the
on.
link. The QR code's not working, so I sent the URL.
The link.
Yes, the URL, so you can put it in the.
Give us a second, guys. And this is why you can't leave out the human elements from all these AI situations. See what we're talking about? Always AI first. I mean,
No,
humans
yeah,
first,
human
humans
first.
first, AI second. Always.
All right, let me see.
Humans first, AI second, always, because despite your best effort, sometimes things almost always go left.
I know that we tested this so many times, but the code was working. Let's try that.
Things almost always go left.
Almost always. Let me try it again. But Benicia, were you able to?
Yep, I'm coming. That's coming up. That's coming right up. That is coming right up.
It is not working. Why? I don't know. I'm gonna stop sharing.
So maybe we can send it over to all of the participants. Maybe if it's fixed. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, there you go. I was able to copy it in.
Okay.
So use that URL. It'll take you to a link that gets you access to it. We have a prompt pack and how to stay in touch with us. And if you want to learn how to build more agents, please feel free to reach out.
Exactly. Issues be technical issues happens even when you even with everything. So that's why we have to always make sure we're on our P's and Q's and verify, check, quality control, all that stuff. And sometimes even despite all that effort, things still go left.
Yep.
Welcome to the real world.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. I know we're at time. Does any questions? Was this valuable? Are you all going to build an agent?
Perfect.
Yeah.
It said it works now. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thanks everyone for joining the call.
And thank you for
Yay. Thank
allowing
you
us to
so
share.
much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Venetia and Jennifer. I think this was very valuable. It was hands-on, and we got the opportunity to build our first agent. So thank you both for such an incredible session. Just also learning about how to pick the staff and defining their roles and what they'll be working on, and also being able to, build and automate some of our tasks that we do, in healthcare. So this was really valuable, and I'm sure everyone would definitely build their agents today. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Venicia, for the opportunity. I don't know if anybody have any quick question before they leave. If you have any pressing question you would like to ask.
I don't see any coming.
Okay. All right. In the absence of that, I think we can call it a day here. Thank you, everyone. And, we hope to see more of you building and, leveraging AI for your day-to-day operations in healthcare. So this was really good. And see you next time. Thank you, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.